Of all the stories told within the Mafia series, none is as quietly devastating as that of Enzo Favara. The protagonists of these games are often seen as men who chose their damnation. They are creatures of ambition and violence, men who willingly step onto a dark path, and whose deaths feel less like tragedy and more like the bill for a life of sin. It is an easy story to understand, men who make choices and pay for them. But Enzo's story does not fit that pattern. His life is not a tale of corruption, but of captivity. He was not damned by greed or pride, but by birth. Tommy Angelo, Vito Scaletta, and Lincoln Clay each had a moment where they could have turned away. Tommy was a cab driver who, after one violent night, found himself at a crossroads. He saw the wealth and protection of the Salieri family, and he stayed. His decision was his own. Vito Scaletta's path was even clearer. For him, the mob was not a trap but a career. He saw it as a shortcut to the American dream, a way to buy the respect his poverty had denied him. He chose the life with open eyes. Lincoln Clay too was the author of his fate. When his family was murdered, he made his choice: to burn a city to the ground in revenge. His war was personal, but it was still a choice. Enzo Favara never had one. His story begins not with an opportunity, but with a sentence. Born an indentured Caruso in the sulfur mines of Sicily, his childhood was stolen before it began. The air was poison, the light was artificial, and the only escape was death. When he finally clawed his way out, freedom was nowhere to be found. Don Bernardo Torrisi offered him two options: work for the family or die.
Can you work?
Yes.
Then you bring him back, Luca.
There was no dream of money, no hunger for power, no illusion of control. Joining the mob was not ambition, it was survival. His rise within the Torrisi family stands in sharp contrast to the others. Where Vito saw every job as a step up and Lincoln saw every kill as justice, Enzo did what he was told. He carried out his duties with quiet precision, not passion. His loyalty was a means to stay alive, not a philosophy. The only dream he ever truly held was to leave. When he fell in love with Isabella Torrisi, the Don's daughter, it was not a strategic move. It was a desperate act of hope. Their plan to flee to Empire Bay was not about building an empire. It was about escaping one. That is what makes his end so cruel. The others die or cause the death of their loved ones is because of who they are. Greed and ambition come back to haunt Tommy and Vito. Rage and revenge is what causes Lincoln's downfall. Each man meets the consequences of his own design. Enzo dies because he is different. The Torrisi family learns of the affair, and Enzo is branded a traitor. And Enzo survives against all odds, but meets his end by not doing one thing that the other Mafia protagonists, the more evil ones, wouldn't have problem doing.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Killing Cesare. Instead, he spares him, he considers him his friend, and gets betrayed and stabbed in the back, literally. Cesare's betrayal is not punishment for Enzo's sins, but for his virtue. The story offers one small kindness. Isabella survives, and Enzo ensures that their child will know the freedom he never did. Enzo knew his father as the one that betrayed him. Enzo's child will know his father as the one who gave him freedom. Tommy, Vito, and Lincoln die as men who got what they deserved. Enzo Favara dies as a man who never had a chance. His story is the quietest but also the most haunting. It strips away the illusion that life is always a choice. Enzo's tragedy is not that he failed to change, but that he was never allowed to.
Well, we do not always get to choose what we do.
Suppose not. Or we can choose who we are.
We can.
No, grazie.
See you around, Enzo.